Please read the disclaimer. Holy smokies, it ain't no jokies. XRP holders Ripple finally got it. Plus, financial data that we have been talking about for months finally hits the value that we have been waiting for, and it was a huge surprise. Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, moneymakers. Let's get into it. So currently XRP is sitting at $1.63, up 2.71% on the day. If we look at XRP is up about 6.7% from the low here today. Bitcoin is up 1.88% at 78,400. Ethereum at 2,300. Solana at 103, up 3.35%. Silver continues to struggle here at 79, down minus 7.2%. But the stock market has been doing okay today, with the S&P 500 up 0.75%, NASDAQ down up almost 1%. Sorry, S&P 500 up 0.75%. So the markets are doing okay today. A lot of people feared after what we saw on Friday that there would be a continuation, but the data that came out today was very, very bullish, and we'll get to that in just a second. So maybe that saved the market from a continuation of the sell-off for now. Every single day, things can change. As always, I just want to remind you, this video is for educational purposes only, entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. Very, very important. So what was the big data that came out? Something we have been talking about months and months, about the US ISM manufacturing PMI just came in at a 40-month high of 52.6. The expected was 48.5, right? Every single time that the crypto bull market happened, 2013, 2017, 2021, only this happened when the ISM moved above 50. Today it hit 52.6. This entire cycle since 2021, we've been below 50 with only tiny blips above the surface. This is by far the largest move up we've seen in this cycle, right? So this is telling us that manufacturing is improving. It's over 50, right? There's purchasing, and this gives us a clear signal that the US is recovering, right? And so this indicator, and Raoul Paul has talked about this as well, as something that is very, very important for the crypto market to potentially get into the run-up. In 2017, in 2021, this happened. In 2013, in 2025, we didn't have it. So that could be one of the reasons why the crypto market failed to do it, right? So this will be very interesting to see if we can see a continuation and see the next months also above 50, and then that would be a very, very bullish signal here for the crypto market for the year, right? Day to day, again, things can happen, things can go up, things can go down according to what the president says, what the Fed does, and all that. But we are getting good news. And not only that, but Ripple secures full EU money license. Ripple has officially received a full electronic money institution license from Luxembourg regulator. This means Ripple can now operate regulated digital payment services across EU nations. This strengthens real-world use cases for Ripple native assets like XRP, XRPL, and RLUSD. Not only that, but we also got big news from President Trump. He announced a major US-India trade deal after a call with Prime Minister Modi. India stops Russian oil purchases and switches to US plus Venezuela supplies to help end the Ukraine war. It was a thing that Trump was mad with India that they were going for the Russian oil. US tariffs are going to drop from 25% to 18%, and India cuts tariffs and barriers to zero. India commits to a massive Buy American purchase worth $500 billion of US energy, tech, and coal. So again, the tariffs are working. The tariffs put pressure on these countries, and we're seeing India sign a deal here with the US. So again, three big, very bullish news here for XRP and for the crypto market, but still we have the bear stuff. So we still have government shutdown potential. We still have the Clarity Act that we'll just get to in just a second. I have an update on that, and the whole Iran-US situation, which has not cooled off just yet. So we have good news, but we also have the factors that have been weighing down the market over the past week or so. So yes, today is an okay day. Things are up, but we know that things can flip very, very fast. Remember, I always have the monkey on my shoulder. Hopefully, you got your own monkey, right? Maybe my monkey had some offsprings and they jumped to you. Someone in the comment section is like, "Why do you laugh at your jokes? Stop giggling." It's like, "Because they're funny." What do you want? If you have a comedian that doesn't laugh at their jokes, they're not funny enough. I'm just saying. So it will be very interesting to see where the market goes from here. And Michael Van de Pope says here, the last time gold topped, the following happened. Ethereum bottomed 9 months prior. Ethereum crashed by 30 to 40%. This time, Ethereum bottomed 9 months prior, and Ethereum is down 30% already. What happened after that? A rise of 300% against Bitcoin for Ethereum and the bull market for crypto. So again, it doesn't mean that this is going to happen. Again, gold is off about 16.5% from the high, which is a lot, right? For gold to drop 16, even I don't think, yeah, this whole pullback here that was almost 232 days was about 20% in the price of gold. And here today, just today, we've seen a pullback from the high that we saw last night of about 16%. So there's a lot of movement that is happening in precious metals. And it's become very, very volatile, and that is affecting the rest of the markets because a lot of money is getting either made or lost there. So it will be very interesting to see if we do get that cycle into the crypto market. And White House calls crypto and banks to the table. White House will meet with crypto firms and banks at 1 p.m. Eastern today to discuss the crypto market structure bill. So I think it's already happening right now. Time difference, right? For me, it's 9:40 p.m. But talks aim to break a deadlock over how stablecoin yields should be treated. Attendees are expected to include Coinbase, Ripple, Circle, and Wall Street banking groups such as American Banker Association. So that is happening right now. We'll see if we get any headlines out of that. Maybe the Coinbase will remove its rejection on the Clarity Act, or not rejection. What's the word I'm looking for? Let me know in the comment section. I'm blanking out right now. Rao Paul thinks that Bitcoin is still deeply discounted. Rao Paul says, based on global liquidity and how NASDAQ has tracked, Bitcoin should be closer to 160,000 right now. That gap, in his view, is the liquidity discount Bitcoin is trading at. He calls this a technical year, not a demand problem, but a timing one. According to the model, the finish should have been much stronger. If liquidity keeps doing what it's doing, the gap doesn't stay open forever. It feels right now when we're at extreme fear, 14, and the markets are at the lowest it's been in almost a year. XRP had its lowest point since the run up in November, and even Bitcoin, went it had this value in in April of 25, but you go also back to November to see values at this low level. Ethereum is actually doing a little bit better because Ethereum had that massive sell-off all the way down to 1300. So Ethereum's graph is kind of out of whack a little bit, but also Solana, similar, the drop in April and then the run up in November and December, right? So many of these graphs are very similar, and it will be very interesting to see how the market reacts from this, how the market pumps off of this, or doesn't pump if it drops off of this. Michael Saylor and Strategy continued their strategy. Strategy has acquired 855 billion Bitcoin for 75.3 million at around 87,000 per Bitcoin. So he actually bought it a premium. If he would have waited a little bit, that means that he and Strategy bought last week when we were around 87,000. If they would have bought now, they would have, been in a better situation. But they have acquired 713,000. So adding 855, it doesn't really move the average to the average of their Bitcoin that much. It's their value is $54 billion at 76,052 per Bitcoin, which is a little bit higher than we are right now. Interestingly, it did drop to 74,500. So they were in the red on their position. And then it popped up a little bit. And Peter Schiff always likes to, to poke at him. He says, your last buy was just at under 88,000. Bitcoin fell below 75,000 over the weekend. As it's still below 78,000, more than 10,000 below your average purchase price for the week, why didn't you buy the dip more? Maybe he will, right? He always announces like a few days after he buys. Per the SEC, I'm guessing maybe they bought on Friday and they couldn't report it until Monday. He always reports on Monday. So it seems like they must have bought on Thursday or Friday, somewhere around that area. It's very interesting how things like this play out. And you see, Thursday. They probably bought on Thursday. Even Saylor, he missed the boat a little bit. If he were bought on Friday or today, he would have been in a better situation. But he decided to buy on Thursday. Nobody knows, even the billionaires and millionaires and all that. Sometimes people make mistakes. So if you make a mistake, don't feel too bad about it, because remember, everybody makes mistakes. And there's always going to be ups and downs and misses and whiffs, and you're going to have success and you're going to have some failures. And the thing is, how do I play out of that failure? How do I move forward? How do I learn from that? And how do I not make that same mistake over and over and over? That's very, very important. I found that every time I have a mistake and I don't correct it, the mistake always goes against me, meaning that if I made a mistake, I was like, okay, I'm going to learn from this. If I do the same thing the next time and I'm like, oh, maybe this time it will be different. No, it won't be different. It won't be different. Maybe one time out of 100, but is it worth it? No. So you got to learn from that mistake. Okay. Very, very important. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, check out the links in the description down below. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. And like I always say, let's make a lot of money.